Well, hey, welcome back, everybody. Team 7, 8, and 9, it's Mr. O. We're here today doing our second PowerPoint reading slash ed puzzle over the Persian and Peloponnesian Wars. So let's get to it. All right, the Persian Wars took place between 492 and 449 BC. You do have your link to your Mr. Nicky Grease song down there. I do suggest you listen to it. You'll be surprised how much you've learned so far. Okay, so who fought in the Persian Wars? Well, it was the Greek city-states versus Persia. Because you remember, Persia is not part of Greece. So the city-states came together, for the most part, and fought against this outside enemy. If you think about the Peloponnesian War, well, isn't Peloponnesia part of Greece? Yes. So when you hear that war, think of it as city-state versus city-state, or kind of like a civil war that we had in our country. That's how I remember. Let's continue. Herodotus. He is known as the father of history. In 425 BC, Herodotus compiled a history of the Persian Wars. And much of what we know today about the Persian Wars comes from the writings of Herodotus. Okay, here's a list of some of our major battles around Greece. You see the Peloponnesus there on the bottom, and you see where a lot of the little battle marks are on Attica and the mainland. So this is Marathon, Battle of Marathon in 490 BC. To the east, furthest west and north is Thermopylae, which is in 480 BC. Salamis in 480 BC in the south, and Plataea in 479 BC. Some of our four major battles in this war. All right, the Battle of Marathon, one of the very important wars, one of the first recorded wars in history. In 492 BC, Darius I sent a fleet of ships to invade the Greek city-states, but the fleet was destroyed by the storms. Again, in 490 BC, Darius I sent a fleet of ships across the Aegean Sea to the coastal plain of Marathon, about 25 miles from Athens. And we've noted on the map this journey. Now, the Persians waited several days for the Athenians to attack, but the outnumbered Athenians did nothing. The Athenians were outnumbered 20,000 to 10,000, so they were outnumbered 2-1. So they got tired of waiting, so the Persians began to pack up their boats and head to Athens because they were going to attack them in Athens. And we see the battle lines that we're going to be talking about in the next slide. Dark black are the Greeks. The stripy lines are the Persians. Again, they're outnumbered. You notice on either side of this Greek attack line, there's trees that were felled by the Greeks, meaning they chopped out a bunch of trees, forcing the Persians to come in a certain direction. It narrowed their battle line, so they were able to attack with the phalanx better, as we'll see as we move forward. Now, at this point, the Athenians decided to strike an offensive attack rather than wait for the Persians to arrive in Athens. So the Athenian foot soldiers charged down from the hills above Marathon as the Persian infantry stood in the shallow water waiting to reboard their ships. The Persians were not expecting the Athenians to attack without the support of horsemen and archers and were caught off guard. Very sneaky move. So Athens was victorious. Now, they did lose about 192 men, but the Persians lost 6,400 men. So they totally crushed them in this attack. And we have several videos there that are really worth checking out. Now, this is the origin for the modern marathon race. In the 1st century AD, Plutarch, the first recorded the legend of a runner carrying the news of a victory at Marathon, 26.2 miles to Athens, and dying once he exclaimed, "We have won." So he ran the entire way to tell them of the news, and he died of a heart attack, I guess, when he got there. Who would want to run 26 miles? I don't know. But did it really happen? Or was this just a myth? Probably didn't. However, Greek historian Herodotus did record that a runner named Phidippides ran from Athens to Sparta to request aid before the Battle of Marathon and then back to Athens. Now we're talking here, it says about 155 miles each way from Athens to Sparta. Now that was recorded. Did that really happen? Well, it was recorded by Herodotus, so we can assume that that did happen. Our next battle is the Battle of Thermopylae and Salamis around 480 BC. You see the beautiful picture of the ocean, of the seafront there in Greece. It's very beautiful. All right, so the events that led to this battle. In 480 BC, Darius I's son Xerxes invaded Greece from the north with about 200,000 soldiers. The Persian army relied on Persian supply ships, so the ships were always close to the army. They were just offshore. The Greeks believed the god Apollo spoke through an oracle, which is a priestess named Pythia, at the temple in Delphi, which is one of the most famous oracles in history. And we have a video here. The priestess was also known as the oracle at Delphi. She predicted that Greece would be safe from the Persians behind a wooden wall. The Athenian general, Themistocles, convinced the Greek allies that a wooden wall meant that the Greeks needed a fleet of ships to challenge and defeat the Persians at sea. We have a little history video about Themistocles there at the bottom. For Themistocles' strategy to work, the Greeks needed to assemble a fleet of ships quickly. It was decided that a Greek army would intercept the Persians at Thermopylae, a mountain pass north of Athens, to give the Greeks time to gather their fleet. Okay, and this is where we're going to pause for this video. Tomorrow we will complete the Persian and Peloponnesian Wars, and we'll tell you what happened at the pass at Thermopylae. So good luck on your Ed Puzzle Day, guys. Don't forget to do your assessment quiz when you finish. Have a great day.